All right. Hello, everyone. I think we are live. Welcome to our discussion of Demon in White by Christopher Ruocchio. This is book 3 in the Sun Eater series. So I'm really excited because I am really enjoying the series even more than I anticipated. But as usual, we're going to start non-spoiler here. I'm going to ask my guests, who are all experienced Sun Eater readers. Some of them on their reread right now, and they know how things go. But I don't. I've only read up to. So please, everybody in the chat, please do keep it spoiler-free for anything after. Well, right now, keep it spoiler-free. But once we get going on the spoilers, it's fair game to have spoilers up to and through Demon in White, but no further. So, hello, my wonderful guests. Where we're going to talk about, I'm going to introduce you as I ask you, I guess. Where would you rate Demon in White, Dylan, among all these books in this series? And what are your non-spoiler thoughts on Demon in White?
Well, firstly, #1 book in the series for me.
Wow,
Phil, this is your channel. I think you should start us off with your thoughts first. You always let us go first.
Oh,
so what are your thoughts?
I love that.
Okay, all right. I will bend to the will of the majority here, and my spoiler-free thoughts on Demon in White. I thought this was stellar. Just another hit in the series. I'm still wrestling with whether I enjoyed this more or book 2, Howling Dark. As far as the structure goes, I feel like Howling Dark was just a much easier thing to grasp onto and follow, and it was just so crazy with Karen Sagara and all these other elements in there. So that might be my favorite, but Demon in White is right up there with it. It's just right up there with it. And it's just, another spectacular, some really iconic moments, by the way, in this. Some very emotional, very iconic moments in this one that we're going to talk about when we get to the spoilers. Can't wait to talk about those because there's some good ones in here. But yeah, and thematically, I see he's continuing to explore some really important questions. A lot of them, I think, were raised right back in book 1, but were really expanded upon in book 2. And I can see that in this book that he is still putting forward. I'm still guessing about certain things, like the idea that the Cielsen are initially, presented in a certain way, and then Hadrian's feelings about them evolve, and I'm never sure about whether how closely am I supposed to map my feelings about them, according to Hadrian's feelings, or is he making some judgments errors in his judgments along the way here? So lots of really cool stuff going on here with our probably unreliable narrator in some ways. And just the themes in here continue to blow me away. The big, vast questions out there, about our place in the universe. He does the philosophical stuff so well. This book does, as in the previous books, the mixture of action and philosophy, and it's just got all this going on to satisfy many different kinds of readers. So I'm really digging the series in a big way. So yeah, there's me. Now it's your turn, Dylan.
Excellent. Well, why is this one my favorite book? Just so much happens in it. And reading it a second time, like now doing this discussion with you, it was like reading a new book again. The first time I read it, I just loved sinking my teeth into the politics that get introduced here. Like we now, Hadrian's getting more into the center of the empire and not so much on the outskirts. So we get more of that side. The action, just insanely good. And then on my second read, just realizing how much stuff is going on. Like you get the main things the first time through, and then after doing this with you guys, seeing how many references there are, that was really cool. And yeah, just love the new elements that we get introduced in Demon in White.
Awesome. I do have to say, Christopher Ruocchio won my heart by having Beowulf references in here.
Not for the first time.
I noted that down for you.
Yeah, that was awesome. So lots of references. I love how playful he is. It reminds me a little bit, actually, you guys are going to think this is weird, but it reminds me a little bit of One Piece in that, with just the grab bag of references all over the place.
I can totally see it.
meaningfully incorporated as well. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun to see that similarity. So Janny Wirtz, one of my favorite authors.
I think I'm with Dylan. This is among my favorites of the series. I can't really place which one is the top because I like different books for different reasons, but this one really struck home. I love, like Philip, the number of angles of view that are worked into this. I think it's an incredibly bold structure in that, how can I say this? Originality is only as good as whether your references are obscure. And this man walked right in, waded in, and was influenced by every major classic known to man fearlessly. And it continues to work. So I'll get into some other things with the spoilers. I love the tonal shifts in this book, where he develops interpersonal relationships and then goes into the big battles. I think he's incredibly gifted at writing the big battle. Yeah. Often I will get bored with the big battle, but not so with this author. He's got a magic touch with that. He can go on for a quarter of a book, and I just keep turning the pages, and I'm not inclined to jump forward and figure it, I'm not bored. So I love a writer that can challenge me that way.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
There are not enough books like this, and publishing does not encourage it, but I could wish that I could have a read like this every month.
Yeah, I could do that. Actually, I am doing that right now. But no, I love what you were saying there, Janny. And the fact is, this book takes chances structurally too.
Yes.
It has a couple climaxes in a way, and then a quieter part in the middle. And I thought that worked brilliantly. A little bit like one of the installments in the Malazan Book of the Fallen, the Bone Hunters. There's a similarity in structure there, I think, in terms of having two. You know what I'm talking about, Dylan? Yeah. So two climaxes in a way, which and both equally amazing. So yeah. And McScarfield is asking about Queen Amid the Ashes. I did listen to. For those of you who are just here for the first time, I'm listening to the series on audiobook, and I did listen to Queen Amid Ashes. So we'll maybe talk about that a tiny bit, but I loved it. Just the spoiler-free version is I thought it was actually very character building for Hadrian.
Yes.
And if you're interested in his journey as a character, it takes place just a few years after Howling Dark. So before, obviously, this book that we're talking about today. But I felt like it set me up for some really cool themes in terms of Hadrian, him kind of turning into his father, the idea of how much are you, this whole question that is introduced right from page 1 of the series of this, which is, we know he's blown up a sun and killed millions of people. How much are you willing to sacrifice to achieve what you think is the greater good? That theme is dealt with very interestingly. There's a twist on it in Queen Amid Ashes. That's all I'll say for now.
I really liked the way he plunges in and handles a broad cast of women characters. He's unafraid to bring them all in. Yeah. I like that, but you definitely know that Hadrian has a very male-oriented voice, and this was a male-written book because of all the statements to tell you exactly what life is like. They tell you outright, men do that. This is how it is. So I really enjoyed that interplay because you could feel the difference in viewpoint between the sexes, not only in the cast of characters, but in the way the voice was presented.
Yeah. And we have here, just so you know, Janny Wirtz,
cool.
Someone, T. Tuck, has now ordered all of the Wars of Light and Shadow. And as soon as he finishes, or they finish Empires and Dust, that's the next read. So you're gonna love it. It's one of the greatest achievements, not only in the fantasy genre but in literature. So best wishes as you embark on that journey. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so John, how do you rate Demon in White?
I love that Janny set me up because I'm going to tell everyone how it is.
Oh, now we got to say hi to Brian before you tell us all how it is.
Hi, Brian.
Hello, Brian. Great to see you. Brian is back on BookTube, everybody. We had a great time hanging out with Brian last night.
It was awesome. It was
Birthday
absolutely awesome.
live stream, and his now has a partner in crime in the person of the Merlin Man, cutest cat on BookTube. So it is great to see you again here, my friend. And also, I want to call out here. I want to shout out Jake from Nerd Level Rising.
Congrats!
Who's finished his PhD. All right, Jake, congratulations, my friend.
Dr. Remmert.
Dr. Remmert.
Dr. Jake, I'm going to call him. He can't be Dr. Fantasy. That's taken.
So you're going to buy him a tweed jacket?
Oh, come on.
He needs a
But a tweed hoodie, because he's a gym. He's a gym rat. He's a gym.
That would work. But congratulations, Jake. So sorry, John. Now tell us how it is.
Okay. You know what? I will say, when I read Demon in White, it was my favorite of the series. It was my number one. But now I think I would rate it third. Wow. And for all the reasons I loved it, maybe fourth. Yeah, maybe third or fourth. But all the reasons I loved it is it's that structure you're talking about. It's almost, he really leaned into the fantasy feel. I felt like we were really getting, like, we've had space opera and we had some allusions to other stories in this love letter to all types of stories, fantasy included. But this one I really felt like, okay, this is epic fantasy. I mean, this is we're almost getting a trilogy structure in one book of epic fantasy as we go from chunk to chunk to chunk here, and it really was quite thrilling for me. The philosophical things were amazing as we grow more into this mystery of the quiet and what it is out there. I loved all of that. So this was my number one when I read it. But what I will say is, what you have in store moving forward is I found things I love even more that are coming up.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Yeah. Coming up is great stuff.
I got some stuff to look forward to here. And there's another rating here from Martian Luther. I love that name. Martian Luther. That's a good one. All right.
That is good.
Yeah. All right. Jacob, how about you? Where is this in the series for you?
I think I got to agree with my dad. I think it ranks fourth for me, a little bit more definitively. I'm not going to go third or fourth. I'm going to say fourth for me.
Okay.
I think this, if you look at the transition from Empire of Silence to Howling Dark, we're like, all right, we're moving. We're getting into much more mystery and lore about the Solon Empire and the long history behind it. And that's like a lot of the amazing stuff, like just scratching the surface of how great that book is. And I think if I had just gotten more of that in book 3, I would have been disappointed in a way. And book 3 feels so much more like we're getting into a different direction where my dad and I have said this to each other 1,000 times. One of the greatest strengths that Christopher has when he writes his scenes is anytime that there is a scene where he just has 2 people in a room discussing politics, it's fantastic. He's incredible at that skill specifically. And there is so much of that on display in this book. And the structure of it as well, like you touched on, Dylan. This does kind of feel like 3 books in one in the best possible way. And we're moving into that epic fantasy style, this larger-than-life character that Hadrian Marlowe is, and kind of getting into the pros and cons of the responsibilities of a character with that looming over them. Oh, is my volume low?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Okay, hold on.
It could just be you're near being asleep.
Put this card in your folder. I wonder about the people who like some of the things that come later more because they're more horror-oriented readers.
That's exactly right, Janny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it does start to walk on the dark side going forward, I will say.
Oh yeah. But I mean, talking about like the cons of a character that has these kind of responsibilities, that really goes hand in hand with the things coming up soon in this series, and that just really, really resonated with me. So, not to say that I don't like Demon in White. I really like Demon in White, but I think pretty much every book from now to the end of the series just like knocked it out of the park for me. really spoke to me. Love those books.
You mentioned how great the dialogue is in two people talking machinations and politics and whatnot. And I also love how surprisingly engaging it is when Hadrian is just talking to us, dear reader.
Absolutely.
And the philosophical moments, and that is very effective. Ruocchio pulls that off really beautifully.
I love the way he hazes history. Well,
Yeah.
everybody remembers this, or maybe it happened that way, but maybe it happened like I said it, but don't believe me necessarily. I mean, he's very, very good at giving you that telescope perspective right on the page in the immediate book, and for some reason, it doesn't break the third wall. It doesn't feel like it breaks the third wall, even though it does break.
It does, but it's
seamless.
It still feels intimate. You're not pulled out of it when that happens. Yeah.
God, I love a writer that can still wow me.
Yeah.
I don't have a jealous bone in my body. It's like, do this again. Next book I get, do it again. You know?
Yeah. So I agree so much. I agree. I'm not saying he can't do the big climactic battles great, but like Jacob said, I feel this could be adapted to live action, because if you just like two powerhouse actors, some of these scenes are just these amazing characters, and you just like them and let them go. And the things that are revealed, the motivations that are diametrically opposed in some of these scenes, and some of the most memorable moments I have, which I'm sure we'll get to when we start getting into spoilers.
Yep.
It's those moments of just people talking about what they believe in and what they're willing to do for what they believe in, and it's just thrilling that he can pull that off without all the fireworks, you know.
Yeah, I think like one of the biggest compliments that. Go ahead, Dylan.
It's like the characters are stepping on a stage when they start politicking, like just the drama. It's like a theater performance. They just come on and you're locked in. But you go, Jacob.
No, that's totally true. And I think I asked Ruocchio about that during an interview. I can't remember the exact question, but I noticed that even though he said he doesn't have he's somewhere on that aphantasia spectrum, that he doesn't necessarily see pictures when he imagines.
I don't believe it.
That blows my mind, first of all.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so strange to me, because he is one of those writers that I can read a scene and I can imagine the blocking perfectly of where everybody is. And like, it feels like they are on a stage, that like everybody has their steps that they take and now they're looming over this person, and there's a mise en scène to the scene playing out before you. And it's really incredible.
He channels a Renaissance painter.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do wonder.
He may be aphantasia, but he channels a Renaissance painter.
It's got that classical. It has a classical feel for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, there's Beowulf. So.
Big thumbs up from Philip on that. Just that alone.
So I do wonder how, if it were ever adapted, because I would hate to miss all that Hadrian speaking directly to us, and you know, more philosophical moments. There's enough action in there.
They did it with Enola Holmes. Come on.
Yeah.
That was brilliantly, seamlessly done with a character talking. It could be done. It just takes a freaking genius director.
Exactly. I was just going to say, you need a great director. You need a great
and a writing room that's off the scale.
Yeah.
But nothing. I would never say it can't be done.
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to break that window and somebody's going to do it.
Yep.
It just takes courage, and it takes the kind of courage that you leap for the sun and you might burn up.
Yeah.
Oh, Ian
absolutely.
McKellen. Maybe Tor Gibson, maybe? I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, he would make a great Tor Gibson.
There we go.
He would make a great Tor Gibson. Yes.
There it is. We settled it. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah. I think the biggest compliment that you and I give to things, Dad, or whenever we read a scene, and we've done this on many occasions with Ruocchio for sure, where like we'll call each other and be like, man, I would hit somebody in the face to shoot that scene, like to storyboard it and plan it out and like that.
Jacob, this is your future.
If someone wants to give me millions and millions of dollars, sure.
Get a big budget.
You'd need it.
Yeah. If that happens, you better hire me, because I'd hit somebody to play some of those scenes.
You and Ian McKellen, those are the first two.
Oh. Yeah, there you go. I know one of those two would answer.
John, you want to be Polino? You can be Polino.
There's so many I would take.
All right. Who would you play, Dylan? Who would you want to play?
That's too much on the spot.
I could say who I'd love to play. I'm not right for it at all. I'm not right for it at all. I would love to play the Emperor. I would love to play the Emperor.
You could do it. You could do it.
Because of what and this is just a tease. What you're going to get into, there's
just dye your hair red. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. No, I'm way too old. He's far more well kept than me.
I'll tell you who I'd want to play, even though I'm too old and whatever, the wrong whatever. But I hope I see him again. Aloran. I love Aloran.
Oh,
you could do Aloran. Yeah.
I want to be Aloran. That's who I want to be. Janny, do you have a character you want to play in this film?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, I gave you time to prepare.
Actually, truly, I don't. But
I know
that doesn't mean that I don't admire the characters. Just the ones that really grabbed me actually are some of the male roles, and a woman couldn't do that. So.
Well, Jake is saying you could be Valka. There you
No.
Oh no. All right. Well, I think we have exhausted our non-spoiler thoughts. So this is going to be the warning for everybody that we're going to start talking about spoilers for only up to and including Demon in White, the third book in the Sun Eater series. So this is your time to leave if you don't want to hear spoilers for Demon in White. But please, everyone in the chat, please remember that I've only read up to Demon in White, so no spoilers for after that, please. And let's roll here, guys. Big picture stuff. I am just now getting a sense for how this whole chessboard could be the Quiet versus the Watchers. And you've got the Quiet is their piece is Hadrian, and the Watchers have their piece, Siriani Doriaika. So this looks like the showdown that is really being formed here. So that big picture stuff doesn't really emerge though until you're well into this story, which begins on Forum, and a lot of stuff happens there. Introductory stuff. We meet the couple soldiers who are spilling their guts to the Emperor about the latest attack by Siriani Doriaika and his followers, and where Hadrian blurts out, did he have a crown, because he recognized the description, and that was his vision. He keeps getting reminded of his visions during all of this. And then, of course, the chap Carax, the soldier who was doing the reporting, finds Hadrian afterwards and shows him the medallion with Hadrian's crossed over the imperial symbol. So there's a cult that is growing up here, which gives us right away a sense that our boy Hadrian is becoming a threat to the Empire. This is, of course, 80 years after Howling Dark. So he's had plenty of time for heroics, for saving the day. We don't see it on page, but at Aptica, I think the place is called Aptica, where he defeats a different Cielsen prince, Ulurani or something like that. That happens entirely off page, but he's got quite a tally going here of great victories against the Cielsen, which no one else has been able to do. So people are out to get him. You know, the old guard, the old lions, that party. So that's all being set up right in the beginning, to the point where he's sent off to. They pronounce it Gododin. But really in Welsh, which is where it comes from, it's Gododin, but we'll just say it like it's pronounced in the books, Gododin, where there have been some imperial ships disappearing and whatnot and all that. So that's where I think we'll start talking about the what happens with the mission with Gododin, which Hadrian was supposed to fail, right? This was supposed to be a failure to put him in his place, to put the brakes on all this heroism. Make him look bad, at least get him out of the picture. And what does he do? What does he do when he encounters Ubalu and the Cielsen world ship and everything else? So let's talk about that part, if you guys are down with that. The Gododin part of this, where he has the first real big action bits where they're encountering the Cielsen and Ubalu and the world ship and all that. So any thoughts from you guys on this section? And we meet, of course, the Irtani as well.
Yes.
All this. The Irtani, we meet them on Gododin, and they're cool, like big flying bird people. And you
The
meet
Eagles
Udak,
coming.
Barda. Yeah, the Eagles are coming. Yes. That kind of uses them that way, too, at times.
Yeah.
So, Gododin. Dylan, what do you want to say about Gododin?
Oh, well, we also get introduced to Alexander. And Hadrian gets strapped to a young squire that is in need of some lessons.
Yes.
I found that very interesting, getting to see Hadrian's relationship with leadership, because that's where he starts taking on the mentor role. And I didn't pick it up as much the first time, but like how Hadrian is like, of course I'm a Palatine. I know they're just going to follow me, but I want to be worthy of their leadership. I found that all very interesting. It's very interesting also picking up 300 years after the first book. So it's 80 years lived, but 300 years of time has passed. So he now has that cult following. And seeing how everyone finds it with her, I did really like all of that.
I thought it was a beautiful, brilliant play on the part of the author to show us in depth the world that, on page 1, that sun is going to get destroyed. Page 1, first book, no spoiler. So bringing it up close and beautiful and seeing exactly what's coming, it gives you an incredible feeling of dread. I thought flipping the shoes to where he's got this young, upstart, arrogant, know-it-all prince, suddenly he's wearing his father's hat. I thought it's significant that right from the beginning of this book and straight through to the end, he has shifted some of his prejudices towards some people, but he's still calling them derogatory names like intus. He's still referring to them as their class name. So he's not entirely shed his origins. Not at all.
Absolutely.
I really like this section where he outstripped everybody's expectations and where that was going to lead, because of course it was going to gain him more nasty enemies. But yeah, the Eagles are coming. The Irktani are definitely the Eagles.
Yeah.
But handled in a totally interesting way. That's one thing I find is the mark of a great author, Tolkien included, is when you can take something that's so archetypal and use it in a way that it feels like it's freaking original on the page.
Yeah, this is a great question.
So even though it's been used before, we've seen this, it's almost a fantasy trope at this point. Nonetheless, when you encounter it, that's not going to be your first thought. You're immersed in that sense of wonder so tight that you buy it, and then it's afterwards you go, wait a minute. I've seen these lightsabers before, and I've seen this. But so, the man has a gift for that. If he can immerse me that deeply that I forget I ever read this, every other book I ever read, that's another mark of his genius. Give me another author that can do this. I'll read every single one I can get my hands on.
Well said. And I love this question here from Dinton24. So do you think Alexander is a good contrast to Hadrian in Empire? Silence, I do think it shows a type of growth in Hadrian. I agree with the growth part. I also wonder if some of Hadrian's resentment of Alexander, because he's not the best mentor either. Of course, there's that whole scene later on when they return to Forum where he's with Valka in the garden and he says some pretty mean-spirited things about Alexander there, and Alexander is eavesdropping, and it turns out he heard the whole thing. It's kind of a fraught relationship because of, yes, Alexander is spoiled, but also Hadrian has some baggage, and he probably sees some of his young self in Alexander.
He saw Crispin. He said he saw Crispin.
Yeah.
So he's still carrying that one. Still that chip.
Yep, for sure.
And that's so realistic.
Yes.
I've said often, when I re-meet people I went to high school, we don't change. We just get bigger. We dig into our quirks and we get more of the same. A lot of my high school peers, it's just whatever they were then, they are now times 50.
Yep, absolutely. So, any thoughts on Ubalu and the battle that takes place in order to free the all those poor Imperial soldiers who were essentially like frozen dinner for the Cielson on their world ship.
Yeah.
That is some gruesome stuff, right?
Oh, get used to that.
You better.
Yeah, I just want to plug it as far as what Dylan and Janny have brought up. This is some of the stuff that I love so much, and I think we have some glimpses that, like you said, Dr. Chase, are so important character building wise in Queen Amid Ashes, where there's that moment, I believe it's towards the very end, where Hadrian recognizes and realizes in himself shades of his own father. These deep dives into these aristocracy and these families that he's run away from. He wanted to be different. He wanted to change the world. And now when it comes to leadership and styles of leadership, and when it comes down to brass tacks and he has to move things to get things going in the right way because it's life or death, he recognizes that voice. He recognizes these leadership styles. He looks in the mirror and sees his own father. And I found that to be, for somebody that was writing, especially at this part of the series, writing this series as such a young man, these are things I dealt with and battled as I grew older and older, as I started looking in the mirror as an older person. And they just rang so true with me that I was so impressed with him, with Christopher Ruocchio, dealing with these kind of feelings, even as a very young man, a very young writer. And then getting into this first part, the look at leadership, the look at how his aristocratic family, and now we get to the emperor. We get to the real royalty here, and like you say, he's the young and up and coming, and he's got this cult following now, and they see him as a threat. But does the emperor really see him as? Would he really have given him the care of Alexander if he wanted him to fail? So you almost see different things playing out here. And all of that I just loved so much. The look at leadership, the look at him becoming into realization of, no matter how I run from it, and in The Demon in White, he really solidifies about the Cielson. There's no one here that I can be a diplomat with.
I loved seeing the progression of the young, idealistic, liberal thinking man.
Yes.
As a kid. Then he gets the military experience. He gets the taste of, you have to fight to get out of this. He becomes more conservative.
Very.
He becomes more authoritarian. And we see this in people as they get older, their beliefs ossify and they become more controlling.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was just brilliantly played, that he didn't keep that naivety. We see the transition. And now when you look at the way he steps in and takes charge in this book, when the chips are really down, he's walking in the shoes of the very authoritarian, take control and give orders.
Yes.
And woe betide anybody, woe betide the highness, get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, he channels his father many times.
He channels his father many times. And as you get older and you find love and you find things that you want to protect, it's you can lean in towards those tendency of being more conservative, more protective. And I love all those things here coming into light in Queen Amid Ashes and the beginning part of this. So much of those fantasy tropes when we get to the royal family were so beautifully on display there, on top of course all the action and the frozen dinners and all that kind of stuff you're bringing up.
There's a grit to it, but also set aside the absolute sheer staggering imagination of some of the settings. The set pieces in Forum were just like,
Forum is amazing.
God,
Forum is
amazing.
amazing.
I want to paint that, the broad scale descriptions of all the different places that this book takes place, the landing field on Godin.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, everyone is different. Everyone feels distinct. And I'm not going to go forward from where Philip drew the line on where we're discussing. But, going forward, every single great set piece is different. Every location is unique. And it isn't just a couple of surface things. He just digs into the minutiae of it. So the sprawl of imagination it takes to create something, and you only saw a sliver of form. The rest was done with smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Dylan, you were going to make a point a while back. What was that?
Oh, that was just when we were talking about Hadrian's comparison to his father. Like, we get Gibson pointed out to Hadrian in this book that he's much more like his father than he thinks he is.
Yeah.
And that they were both so scared of being like their father that they're trying to be opposites. But one of the big differences between Hadrian and his dad is that Hadrian does have people around him. His dad isolated himself, where Hadrian does have his friends, and it just brings more to the story of how important the people around Hadrian is. Even if we're so focused on Hadrian because he's writing the story, we should understand the importance of them to him, though even they're not as developed as Hadrian in the story for us.
Yeah, well said. Another point before we move on to the next section of the story, in the conflict that happens in around Gododin. I know it's in space or whatever. It's not on Gododin, but in the conflict against Ubalu, the Irtani play a major role.
Yeah.
And Hadrian does have the foresight to make allies out of, especially after the assassination attempt that Udax had done, along with a few of the other Irtani. He was essentially bribed to kill Hadrian. And Hadrian has the sense to, instead of go by protocol and have Udax and his other conspirators executed, he makes an ally. And turns out to be a very good ally, too, because Udax has some really big moments in this particular book, which we'll talk about, saves Hadrian's life a couple times. But happens when he's fighting against Ubalu. I think Hadrian would have been in big trouble without Udax there. So that was a pretty cool scene and a nice way to see Hadrian's better instincts come to fruition, in a sense, by winning that loyalty. I mean, he is winning the loyalty. There's the cult that's growing up, but then there's also this very loyal group. There's the Red Company and all his friends who actually know him, and they're also loyal to him. You know, you get a guy like Paulino on your side. The loyalty of Paulino to Hadrian is something that had me almost in tears at moments, you know. Hadrian does, as much as we can criticize him for being an authoritarian.
Oh, he's a great leader.
Yep, yeah. He's a great leader.
Most great leaders are. They have that tendency. Come on.
Yeah.
But it's a fine line. You know, do you have the people's loyalty, or are they following you out of fear?
Yep. That's exactly right. And you can see Hadrian kind of, you know, wavering each way at the moment. Great setup. Any final thoughts on Ubalu and all that before we go back to Forum, where some really cool things happen? Any takers on that part? Okay, let's move on then. We are moving on to Forum again, where he returns covered in victory, parades, everything else. You name it. They've got the corpse of Ubalu there in the parade, and captive Cielsen and all kinds of stuff. And Hadrian's cult is just expanding. It backfired. The plan backfired. So there's another assassination attempt aboard the Tamerlane, which unfortunately gets Valka, but doesn't kill her.
Yeah, it's the knife missile out of Dune.
The knife missile, it's right out of Dune. We can see the influences there. They continue. But some really cool stuff happens at this point. One of my favorite things amongst all these machinations is how Hadrian is manipulated into this fight in the Colosso with the Maeskelos gladiator dude. And very iconic scene coming is when basically Hadrian does much better than anyone expected, and probably including himself. And at a certain point, the Maeskelos takes out his lightsaber, which I can't think of it as anything else. Sorry, but he takes it out. And
high matter sword.
High matter sword. Okay, high matter sword. And he hits Hadrian a couple times on his left arm, which has the adamantine bones, and Hadrian succeeds in defeating this Maeskelos. Amazing scene. So, any thoughts on this section? Of course, we do meet. Do you guys say Selene or Selene? Because the narrator kept going back and forth between the two. So I don't know.
Christopher says the correct way to pronounce it is Selene.
Selene. Okay,
Yeah.
Selene.
The narrator will not pronounce it that way once, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Selene. All right, Selene. I'll try to remember that, although it looks like Celine, but okay. Celine.
Yes. Yeah. I always said Celine, but I was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. We get her, and of course, Hadrian's very unpleasant meeting with the Empress, Maria Agrippina.
Well, she's nasty because of the name.
Yes, of course, Marie Antoinette and all that, and Maria. But also, I have to say, I'm a little upset at Christopher for naming the worst prince, the worst of the 100, whatever.
Philip.
Come on. What is that?
I didn't even think about that.
The drunken, meanest, worst of all.
I don't think
my room. I'm laughing so hard.
I don't think he had met you. I don't think he had met you, Philip.
The worst. He's like
It's your alter
all these
ego,
horrible
Philip. It's your
people. He is
alter
the
ego.
worst.
It's your alter ego.
I don't even. It's been so long ago. I don't even remember. What's terrible about Prince Philip?
Well,
He's horrible. Yeah,
I mean,
go
he's
ahead.
the one he's the one who basically instigates this whole thing. He says nasty things about Valka, of course, and to rile up Hadrian. Yeah. He's drunk all the time too, by the way.
Right.
But he's the one who has the Maeskelos as his gladiator, and so he's a big part of the whole setting up Hadrian to fail, which blows up in their faces again.
Again, right? Yeah.
So. But that was an awesome scene. That was an epic scene in the Colosso.
Yeah. Was that a deliberate pun?
Probably. But what did you guys think about this whole section? The machinations, the adventures, all that, and the possible romance with Celine or Salami. Whatever you say.
Salami? Yeah.
Salami. That's for him naming him Philip, wasn't it?
That's right. That's
if you're going to spell it Celine, it ought to be Celine, but anyway.
Yeah. Look at this. Did you see this? Prince Philip.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know what got me about that whole section was the finish of it. I was not prepared for him setting up an assassination. At the end. Now you know how deep he'll really dig to get back at somebody.
I'm just struck, and I I'm not going to say anything, but I'm so struck talking about this book and its happenings and what's going on, of just the beautiful architecture of what's coming. Nothing's wasted. Same thing I say about your series, Janny. Nothing seems to be wasted. All these things, these settings, these people, this birth of legend, him having to carry this mantle of the half mortal, these things blowing up in their face when they're doing this intrigue against him that never seems to work out. Hadrian always seems to come out on top. And what will be the cost of him being a living legend and carrying this weight down the road? I mean, it's really so well.
It's a snowball and it's well crafted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's really great at bringing the tension in with those kind of like the growth of Hadrian's fable around him as well, because like moments like that where the high matter sword catches in his hand and it should slice right through it, like should be the reaction of, oh wow, this is going to be like the cult of Hadrian is going to grow, everyone's going to be chanting half mortal, this is going to be really putting the authority of the empire kind of at risk here, because we have this like chosen one looking character on the forefront of this cult. And yet I remember reading these scenes and being terrified for Hadrian, because
this guy gets the medal for being the master of melodrama, because it doesn't feel like melodrama when you're reading it.
It doesn't.
It's not. Chair. But he's not going to die there, because then there went the book.
Yeah, he's right. He's never in danger, and yet there are moments when you're like, "Whoa, what's gonna happen?"
He gets the medal for genius at melodrama. Honest,
Tor Gibson is always accusing him of being dramatic, so
I mean, I'm not gonna say he's not dramatic. He is dramatic, but
he likes capes.
Got to shout out. This is a great call here.
Yeah, Lorian.
Shout out Lorian, the hero in many ways, because he's the one who, along with Krim, I believe, if I remember correctly, when Hadrian is framed or about to be framed, how they're the ones that kidnap the lieutenant who had been essentially bribed into planting the knife on Hadrian's ship, and uncovering the plot that shows that it was in fact the guy's name was Lorcan Brethnock, right? The intelligence guy who was one of the old lions, also probably backed by Augustin Bourbon. This is the old guard, the old lions party. But that Lorien is a hero. He's probably he was just introduced in this book, and I immediately like this character. He's a great
Lorien,
probably the most original character in the whole thing.
Lorien is awesome.
And he's
Lorien
this
is awesome.
Intus who keeps proving that he's actually very valuable despite the prejudices against him.
Yeah, a brilliant tactician. And if you keep reading the novellas in between, when you hit Dregs of Empire, Lorien has his moment in the sun, which is so amazing. Oh, okay. Yes.
Got to do that then. I love this character. I think it's worth. All right. Any thoughts from anyone, Dylan or Jacob, on any of the machinations back on Forum or aboard the Tamerlane?
It was just all really sick. From the moment where he catches the sword and you look back to Howling Dark where his opposite arm was chopped off when he came back. So it's already Hadrian starting to switch bodies. So then he's able to stop the sword and stuff, and how that just all continues to play into it.
It's another case of showcasing one of Adrian's brilliant qualities in that, like the Erectani, he could recognize the advantage of winning them to his side. Same with Lorien, where everybody else around him was blind to the prejudice of what they were looking at, the prejudice for the alien other, the prejudice of the person who was considered less because he's a cripple. But Adrian could see through that, but even though he still carries a lot of the crust of his society on top by his terminology, nonetheless, he has grown enough to see through.
Yeah. And the things are so layered to do so much double duty. I mean, yes, he had the arm cut off and replaced, so he's able to have that climactic moment in the Colosso. But also, this plays into the amazing theme of what it means to be human. What do we give up of ourselves as we augment and change? The Balka having the extra circuitry in her brain, or the Chantry's, hard rules against not doing this. Hadrian himself is almost like a ship of Theseus himself as he moves through this adventure. What is he giving up of his humanity? How is he changing? And that theme comes around over and over again, not only thematically, but giving way to these amazing epic action moments at the same time.
Yep. A couple of questions here. Thoughts on the Chantry? My take on that is I pretty much feel the same way Hadrian does. It's not even a real religion. It's basically used as a form of oppression and conformity and just, I mean, there's no real spiritual component to it whatsoever. It's just a brutal bludgeon. It's become a tool in the hands of the powerful to force a false narrative, to enforce it, and through the most despicable means, torture and whatnot.
We can't say too much yet.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. Let's put it that way. I don't blame Hadrian. I don't blame Hadrian for never wanting to be a member of the Chantry, I have to say.
I'm just going to say I think you're on the right side, Philip.
Okay.
2 thumbs down from Philip Chase on the Chantry.
2 thumbs down, firmly. I mean, I'm not a fan. If you've read my books, I'm not a fan of religion used as a bludgeon. But I'm also being asked about my favorite character, Aloran. I need more Aloran because number 1, he's named after Gandalf, but number 2, he's just a cool dude. So I wanted to see him again. If he doesn't come again in the series, I'm going to be a very sad person. But we'll see, I guess. But no, I mean, that would be a tough one actually to actually. You guys are keeping very straight faces when I say.
We can't.
Because we can't say it. What do you want us to do?
You made the rules. You made the rules.
All right, that's fair. So here we have another comment from Remus. Hadrian is often great at seeing the potential in individuals, yet is often terrible at reading a room or playing politics. Yeah, very true.
Well, when you piss him off and you threaten Valka, he
Yeah.
loses it every time.
Absolutely.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he will win.
Which is, when Valka gets hurt during that assassination attempt. And that's where Hadrian, you're in trouble when you get on that side of him. So, all right. Anything else from this portion of the story? Because we got to go to Cultus, where we have a nice interlude. Interlude. I'm so happy that Hadrian and Valka got Cultus and Nov Belgar, because Valka was in her little private heaven with all those books and scrolls and all that history.
Gibson, we got Gibson back.
We got Gibson.
Gibson. Tor Gibson was alive of all things. Yeah. And there's more mystery to that guy. There are hints that he is somebody significant from the past, and you guys are keeping your poker faces on again. I see that. But yeah, it was great to see him again. But the revelations in that library
and under
in Gabriel's archive beneath.
Yes.
I mean, whoa. Okay, we got all the way back to the Americanii history here. The Columbia, which was the original AI, which with Julian Felsenburg, the last president of the United States, and then all the children AI that we already met, brethren, but we meet another one here deep down under the depths in Gabriel's archive there, where that AI was in even worse shape than brethren, I would say. But we do learn a lot there about humans being used as neural networks and
for their own protection,
for their own good. Yeah,
fucking killing.
Yeah, it's kind of Matrix-like, but yeah, it's in a Sun Eater way. Great stuff. I mean,
the Matrix didn't do it for humanity's benefit.
No. Yeah.
This one was doing it because you're going to die. If we don't do this, you're going to die. You won't be safe. Yeah. It was chilling.
Because that's how we programmed.
Its logic was unassailable from its viewpoint.
That's what we wanted. We wanted them to do this, to make us immortal.
No, humans made us into what would do that, and this is what happens when you eliminate all the other possibilities.
Yeah, you make this consciousness, this intelligence, and you give it these questions, and it's thinking outside the box of our experience, and these are the answers it comes up with. It's a trope we've seen. I mean, go back to HAL 9000. It's a trope we've seen how many times, and yet when you get behind that trapdoor and you get down there and you start finding all the answers, it was just thrilling to me. Not a big battle scene, but actual answers were thrilling to me.
Yep.
Well, how much could he lose with a bunch of book enthusiasts having a whole bunch of chapters in the library? Come on. This is pay dirt.
Exactly.
I think it worked quite well for us. Last readers. But we do learn about where eventually Hadrian's next quest is to go to Anakah there, but also from the AI there. But some really huge revelations. I was happy for Siren when Siren just had the guts to say to Hadrian, "I'm staying. I've had enough." That was a beautiful little moment. Or is it Siran? I don't know, because the narrator goes Siren and then it's Siran, and I don't know which it is. So
it's Salami.
What blew me away at this stage, was the whole thing when they go to Anakah. Time, beings and consciousness that work time backwards. It's like, whoa! That just blew the doors off a whole pile of other books.
Mm-hmm.
Is this from? So McScarfield is quoting Thomas Carlyle, which he's a crazy writer from the 19th century, Scottish fellow. Silence, the great empire of silence, higher than the stars, deeper than the kingdoms of death. So that's where obviously Ruocchio got a couple of his titles from. It alone is great, all else is small. Is that from Sartor Resartus, McScarfield? Is that where that came from? Just out of curiosity. If you read anything by Carlyle, read Sartor Resartus. It's crazy, crazy stuff. I absolutely thought that was very touching. I did not expect to see Gibson again. So I also got teary at the Gibson reunion. Because he was present with Hadrian all this time, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was the quiet speaking as Tor Gibson or Hadrian's
Right.
genuine memories of Tor Gibson.
Yes.
He hasn't really ever left us, has he?
No.
But this
Such
the
a
weird
such a father
little
figure.
quirky thing where the quiet only spoke to him as Gibson when he thought Gibson was dead.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep. Totally true. Yeah.
That is true. I hadn't thought of that. That's very interesting. Yeah.
There's a great
That is
point from Theo Reeds about the siren moment was great and a good parallel to the painful split with Switch. Totally good
Yes.
call. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. But I loved it when she laid down her sword. When I'm gonna take this slice of life, and I've done enough.
I did too, but was I not the only one feeling like, oh no, even like when I read this book, anytime this is another amazing skill of Ruocchio. Anytime that something really nice is happening, I get terrified because he's so great at just kind of poking you and being like, "This is nice. This is nice."
Oh yeah, that moment.
Saran's gonna get a lovely happy ending. You're like, I don't
That
trust you, man.
whole reflective seeing of Volca in that setting where they're all letting their feet down in the sand and on the beach. You know he's building up for something.
Oh yeah.
But
It was a wonderful interlude, and you're supposed to relax, and instead it just pumped my dread up.
Well, he
to the
pretty much
ceiling.
tells us that he's going to bury her there someday. You know, I think that's what I understood. That you guys just put on your poker face again.
You should take us to Vegas.
I really
I
should.
refer you
guys
to
are-
Jake's comment.
You guys are impressive. Yeah, I mean, yes. I think I picked up that is where Hadrian is eventually going to bury Volca. Probably because he realized how happy she was there.
Yeah, it was their moment in the sun, right? Like
Yeah.
they get there. There's so many. Like I say, there's just chunks of this. You get like a trilogy in one book.
Yeah. I mean, we know that's where he is now, writing all of this. This is his
At Cultus, yeah.
He's back there. Well, I think you're right. We do need to mention Corvo. Although I think Corvo's best moments in this book are in the last part, the Baronike part. So we will definitely. Corvo is awesome. So we won't leave out her for sure. But before we get to Baronike, we're going to have to go to Anakah, which is where Hadrian and company are set in motion after they learn what they learned aboard the USS Horizon, which is incredible. The AI stuff is just, it feels so relevant to where we are today.
Yeah, it really does.
But Anakah was crazy. And this is where the Quiet are making their kind of big entrance into things. And Hadrian and Valka are trying their best, but it's not until Hadrian is grabbed essentially and put into another dimension, is gone for 40 days. Now let's not get too biblical here. 40,
But it's there. But it's there.
40 days without food, fasting for 40 days. Hello.
Yep.
Can we say savior
The
figure,
time on the mountaintop.
chosen one on the mountaintop? Yeah.
Yep.
This is also where he definitely loses the loyalty and admiration of Alexander.
Yes.
It's subtle, but there's a twist there.
Yeah. Well, and that, we'll have to talk a little bit more about that too, because that plays that happens at the end as well, where after Baronike. But that is definitely there's
where it starts to turn.
Yeah. And because he had forgiven Hadrian for basically saying he's a snotty-nosed little pain in the butt, right? And Alexander had pretty much forgiven that. But it's kind of like a back and forth here.
Yeah. I don't know if he had entirely forgiven that.
You know what got me on the reread for the section in the library, the section where they had their time in the sun, and then Anike or Anakah, whatever it is. I didn't listen to the audiobooks. My pronunciations will be off. But when I reread it, I realized how economical those pages were. When I read the book, he made me feel like I'd been there for years. It just felt like it went on for a long time, and they were definitely there for years. But when I read it, it was like that impression was all done with smoke and mirrors first shot through.
Yeah. I mean, they did have some good years there. It was years. So.
But I'm saying that he played games with the way you felt the time period in your head. He really made you feel the weight of the time they spent there, even though actually when you looked at how many pages he actually wrote, I'm looking from a crafts perspective here.
Yeah.
It was not that many pages. Those sections were relatively short compared to the rest of the book.
Yeah, but the emotional weight they carry is greater than the amount of pages, for sure.
Yep. Really effective craft, for sure. Yeah. So Anakah, Hadrian's, he gets new powers. He gets cool powers where he can see alternate futures and choose which one he wants to kind of step into. And therefore, he can breathe where there's no atmosphere or get shot in the chest by Dingaling there, Bastian Duran. Right? He can get shot in the chest and
and the screen behind him breaks.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's pretty cool, actually. So Hadrian's new superpower, he's getting set up here by the Quiet. Although, and I think he's right to be wondering all the time, am I just a puppet here in all of this? Right? How much free will do I have in this? And is the Quiet there? Are they just so far above us that we're simply just moving our arms when they pull the strings? So it's kind of frightening that he is acquiring these powers even as he's realizing just how little choice he has.
Well, that's one of the interesting things about the system of how that power works, I really thought, because you would think that it kind of negates the feeling like, oh, this character is just a god now. Like you could shoot him in the face and he'll dodge it by seeing a different alternate reality where the bullet was 2 centimeters this way and he dodged it perfectly, and he can grab onto that future and pull him into it. But there are mentions as well where sometimes he sees those futures and sometimes it's harder to see, and it's not entirely up to him. It's really a gift.
I was going to say I think he sees it when the Quiet needs him to see it.
Right.
This ability to tap into quantum mechanics, I guess, string theory in a way, and see all of these branching possibilities of if a choice was made a bit differently and I can move to that other branch. It's really when the Quiet needs him on the board for a certain amount of time on a certain square, and it's really then that he can tap into it, I think.
I love seeing that trope play out because it's so seldom used. I've read a number of books where it has, but it's not a common one at all.
Yeah,
and it's used
love
very well here.
Yeah, that theme you bring up of, is it just destiny? Is it all written, or do we have free will? I love that theme as well.
Yeah.
Or is it being written right in front of me?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I expect a certain answer from Christopher Ruocchio on this matter of free will. I expect him to be affirming the idea that we have free will. But so far,
he answered that question because he got pulled astray when he got on that ship in the very first book.
Yeah.
He got yanked sideways.
Right.
And in here, he finds out that it was the Quiet that did that.
Right. So how much free will does Hadrian have?
And the flipping of the arm to the false bones, the same thing. So he plays with that question, and I think he shades it in a way that you never get a complete answer.
Right. Right. Which is what a good author does. Yeah. But
and life is a mystery. No matter how deeply you pry into it, it remains a mystery.
It's a question none of us will ever have the answer to.
Yeah.
But no, I'm amazed at these settings and the conflicts and everything else. But the final climax of this has to be. Oh yeah, that's a good call too. The Cultus, where Jason and the Argonauts went off to. Actually, yes, that's a good call. McStarfield is there with the.
No man, for sure.
Always. So that's awesome. But this all ends at Baronque. That is where we're heading now, because Hadrian would have loved to have stayed longer at Anakah, but he had his vision and it was time to go. Didn't take even the 5 years that he had gotten them to agree to. Corvo and the others had agreed to stay there, even though Alexander was not happy about that.
Nope.
That's what part of what you were talking about, I think, Janny, right? Was where Alexander's like, we are supposed to go to Baronque. Leave right now, and Hadrian is like, no.
Hadrian defied him.
Yeah.
Alexander basically tried to give him an imperial order, and it didn't stick. And I think that's the moment where the crack became a chasm.
Yeah, indeed. But off they go eventually to Baronque, where you have this massive Cielson, and you got to say that Siriana Doriaika is a strategist.
Yes,
very good one.
I have huge things to say about that. But
please do.
I'll wait my turn.
Oh, it's your turn
Dylan,
right now. It's your turn.
Go ahead.
Now.
Yes. Love
How
to hear
many of you definitely got Saruman vibes?
Oh yeah.
From Doriaika, the White Hand, but Karn Sagar as Saruman. Because if you look at that, he had the Americani weapons. He was originally on the side that was repressing them. He saved them. I think he stared into the eyes of power and turned. He's the one that fueled Doriaika. He's the one behind where all these nasty, twisted technologies went. Remember the human people? They traded to get out. What became of them? They became these, it's going to play forward. But and then all the way up to the attack on Baronque, where I got huge echoes of Aragorn's speech from Lord of the Rings.
Sure. Yeah.
So it really had a Saruman-like feel to it, where Karn Sagar playing the part of Saruman. Did anybody else get that?
I got something. I got a St. Crispin's Day vibe. From it's like
Henry V.
Yes, from Henry V. The speech gave me St. Crispin's Day vibes. But I think when you're doing this love letter to story, it just echoes through so many. It's almost dependent on the reader as a mirror of what we've taken in as to these echoes that we kind of see playing out in front of us at the moment in these books.
Whoa, that was a good point. Moonspawn and the flying planet.
Yeah, I don't know if Christopher Ruocchio.
Oh, come on, he must have.
You would think so. I'm kind of remember, John, when we had him on for the Book of the New Sun discussion. Did he mention Malazan? I think he said he tried Malazan.
I think he said.
Yeah, but that was on the first page.
Yeah, it was early on. So yeah. Moonspawn is there right from the start. And Jake is saying, that's kind of what I remember too, Jake. That he perhaps has started it, but
didn't
finish book one. Is what.
But that battle, that siege, was right in the first chapter.
It's very early.
It's right on. Yeah. It's right on the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
Nonetheless, he's borrowed from everybody blatantly, so it made me happy doing it. So I don't care.
Yeah. But it's epic stuff. I mean, you've got the destruction of Houtman and the fleet because the Cielson outsmart Houtman, and they send a suicide kamikaze ship in there and blows up everything to smithereens because Houtman had everything too close. Thank goodness Corvo and the rest were safe aboard the Tamerlane, far enough away. I'm going to attribute that to Corvo because she's cool.
Corvo is cool.
Lorien playing a big role in taking over, essentially.
Lorien, General Patton in a fragile shell.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a feeling of trench warfare during this section, right? Like I got that.
The feeling of what,
vibe?
John?
Trench warfare in this section.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like you had Janny just said Patton in a fragile shell. It's like I got that I got that vibe of some of the climactic battles we've seen the cost of in our own history here as they're trying to stay alive and stay safe.
Absolutely.
Battle of the Bulge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they're dug in there against the odds, much bigger force. And you do have the return of Basander Lin, so that was cool. And he gets the snot beat out of him by Bahude. He doesn't end the book too well, but it was good to see him again. And his relationship with Hadrian has become something healthier than it was, perhaps.
Definitely different.
Not rivalry, not worship, but something more respectful, I think.
Understanding.
Yeah. Understanding.
I love the moment where Hadrian was reminded that the Cielson are all bad. They were terrible. They murdered this. They destroyed what's that general that was killed on Vogassus. And immediately Valka says, "You killed the kid. You killed the kid." That sealed the war just as firmly as what they did to us. So I like the fact that there is no right side, wrong side that's pure.
Yep.
I love that.
That is
Janny,
so true.
You're giving me so many realizations with this and the Saruman thing that I can't talk about until like 2 streams from now. But you're blowing my mind right now.
Well, and that's just the thing. Hadrian keeps telling us how horrible the Cielsen are, but we also keep seeing how horrible the humans are.
But that's what I was saying. Our last stream is like, that's the tragedy of this young idealist that ran away from his aristocratic family to make such a difference.
Yep.
In a journey in Empire of Silence that somewhat mirrors Siddhartha himself. And then where he becomes, and it's like what he gives up of himself and what he becomes, it's like it's such a tragedy. And I think Christopher has said himself, it's that journey of how Anakin became Darth Vader, but you would totally understand why he did, you know? And it's like he kind of pulled that off for sure.
For sure. Here's a cool thought from Matt, animated that. Random thought, but he writes the story from the end by telling us he blows up the sun. The ruins of Anakah kind of resemble how Chris wrote the story almost backward through time. Yeah, good call. I like that.
Yeah. That's
very
good.
nice. Yeah. So more stuff though at Baronque. I mean, you've got this Behude monster thing, another Cielsen assisted from
mech
the
warrior.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Transformer mech
Metal
warrior.
sandworms that are small and fly and eat you.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you've got also their siege engine, which is going to knock down that wall. And aboard that is this dude named Urbane, who is there's another villain for you. The one who messes up Valka, unfortunately, because Valka does save the day a few times here for Hadrian.
Yeah, but she gets damaged. I know, that was
badly damaged.
What did you think of the storm wall, too? That had echoes.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, there's so many possible echoes there. You've got the wall in A Song of Ice and Fire, for example. And the key thing there. So many walls and
Siege is just siege after siege wall. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a particular one that reminded you of, Janny?
The wall or the concept of the giant storms in Sanderson.
Okay. Oh, yes, the storm wall and all that. Yeah.
You know, he pulls slices from everything, but like I said, you read it on the page and it's just like, wow.
That's from the Stormlight Archive.
There's a certain genius to be able to cherry pick that precisely from everything and get the perfect stuff. All the cool things are packed into this book, and it's like you didn't miss any.
And there is a great big Death Star like orbital laser that
he just walks out of.
Hadrian walks out of because of his superpower. I mean, again, pretty epic, cool stuff.
So that theme of the living legend and a cult growing around is so cemented by the end of this book. Yep. That's one thing I do love about each installation we have in this series. Each book, at the end of each book, I went, okay, you achieved an entirely new place now. It's like we now have to start over from where we left off, and that happened book after book after book after book.
He rips up the paradigm every time.
Yes,
and he's going to do it again, and he's going to do it again, and he's going to do it again. That's the mark of a great series.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a good call here from Theo Reeds. That look Alexander gives Hadrian at the very end. Chilling. Yeah.
Yes.
Especially since we know, because Hadrian said so in Howling Dark, or no, early in this book, I'm sorry. He says explicitly that Alexander will be the one that gets him arrested when he blows up the sun. So Alexander's going to play a role in that now. Whether they make up between now and then, to become friends again, I don't know. Or is this resentment going to be continuing? Right now, it feels like at the end of this book, Alexander sees Hadrian very much as a threat, even as Hadrian has just saved the day. So that's going to be
everyone hold that poker face.
Poker face is on again.
And Hadrian doesn't exactly help. He takes the knee and takes a few slaps from Alexander, but then he lets him break his hand just to let him know who's
all the time. He says, I don't want the crown. I don't want the crown. I don't want the throne. Methinks the maiden doth protest too much.
Yeah.
It just has echoes that you don't know which direction the marble's going to freaking roll.
Mhm.
Well, and the crowd is directly comparing him to William, the original William
original,
of Avalon, the emperor who saved the day back again, and when they were fighting the Maricania,
The God-chosen emperor.
Mhm.
And so Hadrian is this dude reborn or whatever. But in a sense, they're right, because you get the sense that William was also used by the Quiet way
But-
back when.
They'll both chosen.
I had little vibage of Arthurian legend there with that.
Oh, the Avalon and everything for sure. Yeah.
And the king
The
rising
king
when he's
turning.
most needed. Yes.
Yep. 100%. Yeah.
So where's the sword and the stone? Let's watch for it.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. There might be some, you can't catch all the references in this thing. You can't possibly. 'Cause it's just packed.
I mean, he's already got his lightsaber. I mean, high matter sword. Yeah. So.
Come on, Philip.
Come on, Philip. Where's the sword and the stone? Well, I will say, there have been questions asked by one Dr. Chase that will answer that sword and stone question down the road.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I gotta tell you.
Where it comes from, where it goes. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a nice way of saying read and find out, John.
yeah.
You can guess until you're blue. You aren't going to guess where it's
Nope,
going.
you wouldn't.
Another mark of a great series.
I was partly right in my predictions last time. Do you guys recall my predictions last time?
No, remind us.
So I said that first. I said that Emperor William was going to be a douchebag, and I think I was not entirely right. It's actually more Maria who's a douchebag, and whereas William he's trying to hold things together. It feels like he's not exactly the most lovable dude, but he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders, and it feels like Hadrian is. He's trying to use Hadrian he serves humanity, right? He takes that part of his title seriously. The servant of servants or whatever, right?
He's a douchebag with purpose. He's got style about
Yeah,
it.
okay, he's a douchebag with purpose. Whereas Maria is just a douchebag.
Yeah, no purpose required.
And Philip is the worst douchebag of all.
I don't know. I would rank Maria above. Maria cares about Maria, and very little else.
All right. I also said that Valka was going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, you were right about that.
So that one, I feel like I get credit for that one, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it anyway. So here we go. I'm going to just see if we have some more comments here. Yes, exactly. We were talking about that earlier.
That's a thing you can never let go of. How much of an unreliable narrator is he?
Yeah,
I was curious about that as well. Do you have a milkshake behind that Demon in White copy, Dad?
I have a lovely
aha!
Wild cherry smoothie.
Caught in the act. It's funny. Yeah, I do have to say, at least salami is nice.
Philip, you're evil.
Yeah. I have to agree.
Wait till somebody talks about your book and misnames a character.
It's been done. It's been done.
It's been done. Okay.
The name.
So you know how it feels. Okay, you're forgiven.
Yeah.
Day Raven.
She does stand up for her children. You do have to give her that. Yeah.
She does. Yes, she does. That is true.
That
is true.
Do you have predictions for Kingdoms of Death, Philip?
Oh, good Lord. Oh, no. I don't know.
I will say, but before you go, you know how I love the dark side. I'm going to say Kingdoms of Death it's in contention for my fave of the series. So that should let you know it lives up to its title.
He likes dark books.
We got some cosmic horror coming up then.
But anyway, going back to Selene,
Yeah.
she is so typical of so many women in history where she had no power.
Yeah.
And she turned to whatever power she could grab.
Very true.
Yep. Okay. So
while I hate her, I don't entirely not sympathize with her completely.
Oh, yeah.
She pretty much was an ornament.
Yeah, she seems like she's well-intentioned anyway. Like, I don't feel like there's any maliciousness coming from her, but unless...
I don't know about that.
Yeah? And this book...
Well, look how she treats Hadrian.
Yeah.
We're talking about Celine.
No,
right?
I'm talking about the mother.
Oh, yeah, she's
Maria.
horrible.
Oh,
yeah,
Maria.
yeah,
But
yeah.
she's so typical of so many queens in history that had
get your
no power whatsoever, and they
Yeah.
turned nasty because
Yeah.
that was the only way they could have an influence.
Okay, I totally right. Yeah, I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about the
No.
princess. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So Ben is saying there's some fascinating theological theming going on with how some people believe the miracles they witness, while others are just ever skeptical against the evidence of their own senses. For sure, and it's hard to blame them, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw a dude who was shot by a giant laser that had fried everything else, and he somehow just waltzes out of there and does a little dance.
People can
And-
talk themselves into anything. Look at what they're doing today with education and with certain
Right.
things where they say evidence in front of my eyes, this isn't valid. We're going to
Right.
go do something different, and we'll die for it too.
Right. And think about it, you're seeing a guy just walk through a space laser and he's all fine and dandy at the end, and it's his account that's saying this.
Right.
But it's also after the enemy was just calling him kin. And
Yeah.
saying they're one of the same.
Good call.
That
Good
was
call.
very interesting, getting that whole ending of Dorioka and Hadrian talking, saying they're similar, and realizing that Dorioka is trying to become a god himself. It was,
Yeah.
you wouldn't want to be hanging out with the Emperor after just the enemy is calling you friend almost.
That's a great call, Dylan. Yeah, that moment of where we're kin. And again, what does that mean for who Hadrian is? Right.
Well, I think where you started saying the grand scheme is laid out with the Watchers and Dorioka and the Quiet and I think that's
where we are. These are their two knights, as it were. They're on the chessboard. You've got Hadrian versus Dorioka in the Quiet versus Watchers showdown. It's happening.
Yeah.
I love that kind of complicates Hadrian's relationship with the Empire even further, because he does have that kind of, I think we talked about this a little bit in the last stream as well, where Volca consistently calls him and the Empire barbarians, and Hadrian's like, oh, I'm not like them. But when put in front of the Emperor, he's like super excited and all in on the Empire. But you do have those moments where the cult of Hadrian is rising and he catches the sword, and there's that ship of Theseus kind of moment where are you really human anymore? Are you one of us? And oh, you're kind of a chosen one. You're not like we are. And there's some interesting developments there in Hadrian's relationship to humanity in general.
You
And
also see the first spark of the conflict, where what happens when his loyalty to the Empire comes into conflict with his directive from the Quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a decision every person has to make. When do you go against what your country is saying, or do what you consider is the higher calling? So the beginnings of this conflict, this guy goes in so many directions, and I love it. There's so many themes explored in this book in such a unique way.
He has an explicit conversation with William, the Emperor, and
several
times he's asked, "Whom do you serve?"
Mm-hmm.
And he pretty much admits that, I think I serve the Quiet, because he spills his guts at a certain point to William.
Yes.
Actually, he tells him about his visions and everything else, and William is like,
and William lets him know we've known a while. We have history as well, and we've known a while. But I love the schisms that are building. Like we talked about Maria and Alexander, and it's like, hey, we serve the royal family. We serve our family. We serve the empire. We have orders to go to Baronque. We can't hang out here for 5 years. Maria, I look out for my children, my family, the royal lineage of humanity. Whereas Hadrian is starting to get the schism and starting to get the like Janny says, a higher calling. And who do I truly answer to? And what cost is that going to build up that I have to pay?
Yep. All right. Well, a couple more comments here. This is impossible for me to answer. I'm sorry.
You have to. You made us.
I'm gonna go with, I don't know. It depends on the day. So far, I've only read the 3, but my answer at the beginning of the stream was Howling Dark, but right now maybe it's actually Demon in White.
Every time we do one of these streams, I'm like, man, Sun Eater's so good. Like,
Every book is so packed. You know what I love when I was watching your Weeks at Where, Philip, is you saying you're enjoying this more than some of the other. You put down some books, you put down some series because, or the references or the inspirations here, you find this more thrilling or enjoyable. I can't remember exactly how you beautifully worded it, but I just love that you're enjoying it that much. It's so thrilling. I love being here with you when you enjoy it that much.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's a blast. Janny has, I think, called it correctly that this is a brilliantly put together, and there are so many tributes to so many great stories which he's used to make this story, and it's its own story. The sum is greater than the parts, really.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely frightening how close it came to being dropped by its publisher.
Yikes!
Yes,
I have to say that.
Yeah.
That visibility is everything, and I think this is one of the greater works of this decade, if not this generation, and how close it came to being dropped. It would have gotten finished because Bain would have picked it up, but the fact that it came that close.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Well, honestly,
other books are running that gauntlet right now.
Yeah. Well, it was dropped. It was dropped by Daw, and just because Christopher had a relationship from having worked at Bain could, do something for it, champion his work and keep it going.
I find it terrifying to see a work of this magnitude underestimated for what it was.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of great books, not Sun Eater, says Martian Luther 95, but just wanted to share that I just finished Daughter of the Empire, and I freaking love that book. So excited to hop into book 2. That's a series by none other than Janny Wirtz and Raymond Feist.
Yeah.
That's the Empire trilogy. So there you go. There's another great.
And having read all 3 of those, I will say Mara's journey through all 3 of those books is stunning.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, one of the books I did put down was Earth of the New Sun because I'm just having way more fun reading Sun Eater. Sorry, Gene.
There seem to be a lot of people who read the first trilogy of that and don't take to the second, so it is what it is.
I'm glad I read Book of the New Sun, but I do not enjoy Severian, whom, by the way,
the difference between this and that is the Book of New Sun has a very passionless, very emotionless approach to the main character, and some readers like that. Yes. You don't pick up Ruocchio for an unemotional, passionless take. It is going to blow up in your face. And if you look at reviewers, you will see that people fall into 2 camps. There's the people who are not afraid of emotion, not afraid of that passion, not afraid of that fire, not afraid of going into the emotional depths. And there are other readers that absolutely, it's an anathema. They can't handle it.
Yeah.
They don't want to go there.
I clearly know where I am. And I don't enjoy my time with Severian. I enjoyed Book of New Sun, but I don't like
the Severian. Ideas are intriguing, but you don't read it for the character work.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Intellectually, it's a beautiful puzzle and a beautiful work, but if you're looking for that emotional attachment,
it's not going to have
I couldn't find it in Book of the New Sun at all. Yeah.
But that is important to know going in, because if you go into the Book of the New Sun thinking you're going to read Severian as a hero, you're going to miss the point. Yeah. It's like going into who's the guy who wrote all the nautical fiction, thinking that you're reading another Horatio Hornblower, but for adults.
Yeah.
Patrick O'Brian. It's not that. It's not that. You read Patrick O'Brian for the relationships between the characters. The nautical battles are almost secondary. So you have to go in with the right expectation.
Sorry, Chris Longson.
Yeah, we'll stop.
We'll stop hating on
No, you don't read Severian for the passion. You read it for the intellectual challenge.
Challenge and the layered symbolism and the it's almost like reading an allegory. It's very typological kind of narrative.
It's different focus.
Yeah.
And I think both books are equally brilliant. It's just the focus is different.
And Mix Garfield is saying that Lois McMaster Bujold is the secret ingredient. Another influence on Ruocchio. Her character work in Vorkosigan. How do you say that?
Vorkosigan. I think Vorkosigan.
Vorkosigan. Amazing. So I don't know if do you see that influence as well, Janny? In the
I wouldn't have pulled it out of the hat.
Okay.
Because hers has a different bent to it, but she's
I've heard this
equally
before.
able to write a good character book.
Okay.
And she uses a lot of, it feels like Russian aristocracy. She also was probably the precursor and the champion of the crippled main character with the brilliant brain that is constantly underestimated. But I get a lighter feel out of Bujold. She doesn't dig into the horror aspects that Ruocchio goes fearlessly into the real deep, dark side of what might be. I love Bujold, and I read all of her books, but I wouldn't call her a horror writer. I would say you could definitely, the horror writers are going to take to Ruocchio. Don't look for that in Bujold.
Titan TV is confirming that Ruocchio is a big fan of Bujold.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah.
Different flavor, but she's equally well known for her good character work.
Yep.
She's an excellent writer.
So I don't have any great predictions. I'm sorry, guys, for next time. I don't know. I mean, what's going to happen is...
Come on.
I have a prediction for the last book.
Okay.
Adrian's going to blow up a sun.
That's pretty solid.
I don't know where you get that from.
Yeah. You're way out on that limb, Dr. Chase.
So I don't know. I mean, I want to see. I'm very scared right now for Valka. I am very scared for Valka. However, I think she's on one of the book covers in the future books, so I think she's going to be okay. So we'll see. She looks healthy on that book cover. Is it Ashes of Man that she's on the cover of? I think that's Valka. I'm guessing. Look at the poker faces. You guys are great. I think.
Well, we are not exactly pulling out the duct tape, but we could be.
We could be.
So Hadrian's okay. Here's a prediction. Hadrian is going to go to Valka's homeworld to get her better. To the where is she from again?
That's a good prediction.
Tavrosi.
Yeah,
Tavrosi. They're going to go to Tavros. They have to go to Tavros. We have to see Tavros, don't we? So we're going to go to Tavros, and he's going to meet the in-laws.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm gonna say, okay, for the next book, Kingdom of Death, I'm gonna say
you can't make predictions.
I'm just gonna say, even through the first half of that book, you won't know what's coming.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, is this the one where it got split in half?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Kingdom of Death and Ashes of Man were
Kingdoms of Death and Ashes of Man were one large book.
That was one large book. Okay.
Which I think Kingdoms
Do I
of
need
Death
to keep that in mind when I'm reading it? Is that important?
No, you don't. And I think the split. There's some things that he had to put into the beginning of Ashes of Man because it was split that I love. So I would really not like it if that wasn't there. So.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Well, then I feel like I am forewarned and ready and eager to continue. So we will convene again in about a month, everybody. I do want to, here's Jake's take on that. I think the series is better for having been split there. Totally agree. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, and
what would you think, Dylan? Because the extra we got, I know you know too. What do you think?
Yeah, I love that it was split, and it just makes the pacing of each.
Do you want that question?
Yeah, well, after Dylan's done.
After Dylan.
Yeah.
It's just really satisfying where then Kingdoms of Death ends and then Ashes of Man ends. It feels very right. That
Yeah.
You got each of those in a separate book. It would have worked in a bigger book, but I really like how they did that.
Yeah,
Good.
I do. I agree.
All right. It's pretty unanimous here. So, and we have agreement here as well from Dinton24. The split gives a breather. All right. And then we do have a question here for Janny while we're here. Why not? From
The question bears on something I was talking to John about earlier.
Yep.
In that, why do books when you're very, very young hit you harder than the books when you're older? And it's much harder to get a book that smashes the glass. The reason is that you take your expectations in. So the practical question, the way I get into a book is drop my expectations and read the words exactly as they are on the page and not try to carry anything into it and not try to take anything away from it prematurely. Don't expect that you know. And if you can walk through a book like that and not expect that you know, then you're going to get steered in the right direction. You're going to get the feel of what it is the author was trying to say. So another book that's a lot like The New Sun in that manner is Susanna Clarke's Dr. Strange and Mr. Norrell. If you go into that book expecting something wrong, but if you let the book take you where it is, it's a beautiful satire. And it's an incredible piece of writing, and it's an incredible piece where she took the best of a period and made fun of it. But you have to allow the author to steer it. You cannot go in there thinking that you know everything, seen everything, done everything, and overwrite what's on the page. And that is an art that Philip knows how to teach, and AP knows how to teach, and John has managed to learn in theater, is let the story take you and assume that the story knows what it's doing. Don't be quick to pick it apart because something you expected wasn't there.
All right. There.
Brilliant.
We will be ending with that wisdom and along with some encouragement here. So Kingdoms of Death is amazing. Have fun. And Kingdoms of Death ends perfectly. So lots of love here.
Not a bedtime story.
Yeah, be in a right place, Philip.
Kingdoms of Death is the only Sun Eater book that I don't cry easily. I was openly crying during that book. Like,
wow. Okay.
Several tears falling down my face.
Oh man, is this got to do with Valka? Come on. Oh no, I don't know if I can do this. I am not ready for Valka to be hurt. Okay, I just got to say that. She better get better. All right. Well, that's going to be it for us. I am very excited to be meeting with you lovely people, you four lovely people who are my guides through here, my wonderful conversation partners. And thank you, Janny, for the answer, says Cook Books. Amazing answer. And I agree. And thank you, everybody in the chat. You guys are amazing. I'm sorry I couldn't get to every single one of your comments, but you added a lot to our conversation. And I thank you all for showing up. Thank you to everybody who comes to the video after the fact. Team Replay. All right. So thank you, Team Replay, for coming along as well. We'll be back in a month to continue our Sun Eater journey together. But that's it from us for now. All right. Let's see if I can figure out how to end the stream. All right. Until next time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.